Do you remember? Busan Hang? Yeah, it's not a great story. It's not a great story. It's not a perfect story. Yeah, maybe instead of story, you could use the word plot. A lot of times when we're talking about movies, we use the word plot. I even didn't know about. Just change the order. I didn't even know about. I haven't thinking after that life. You were talking about retirement. I haven't thinking after that life. A lot of times we use the phrase, I haven't thought about it. I haven't even thought about it. I haven't thought about that yet. I haven't worried about that yet. And you said most of the people trying to do startups, it's okay, but maybe you can say most of the people want to start their own company and use start as a verb. To do a startup sounds it's a little bit not perfect. You could use form, that's maybe a little bit too technical or something, but maybe use start as the verb instead of to do a startup, It's okay, but you could maybe phrase it differently.
I have questions. Yeah. When you use the start, it just refers as like fancy or new technology or just new business. In Korea, usually startup is like fancy or with new technology or something.
Not to me. To me, when I hear startup, it can be anything. It can be anything. It can be very small, very simple. Like she said, very simple. 3 people. My own startup. I have startup business. 4 people. But yeah, it doesn't have to be technology related.
I mean, it's not a matter of the size, but anyway.
But it's kind of new idea.
Yeah, new idea.
That doesn't exist before.
I mean, I think it's just the word meaning startup is just doing something
from the ground level.
Yeah, I think that's the not being about the technology or something new.
It's generally.
I was thinking,
If it's related to the investment or something, they really expect your company to skyrocket within giving period. So.
And Ted, you said it will merge ARM. It will merge with. We need to use the word with.
Merge with.
You said which doesn't produce at all. What were you talking about? I wrote down, but they don't produce them, only design them. You were talking about the company. They don't actually make the product. Yeah, which doesn't produce at all. Doesn't produce at all. When you say it at all, I understand what you're trying to say. You use the word only, specify. They don't produce them, only design them. Yes. Be a little more specific. Have that kind of production. We were talking about the car collateral.
Yes.
That's not really production, is it? It's more, they don't have that business model, or they don't have that, they don't offer that. You could simply say they don't offer that.
Offers.
It's more, especially the word, maybe if you just said product, they don't have that product, that would be better. Production really sounds like they're building something, making something. And you said, since I'm kind of not proactive person, again, kind of change the order. Since I'm not a proactive person, I'm kind of not. I would say I'm not really. Since I'm not really a proactive person. Alex, I wrote down, you said the number of registers. Were you talking about Softbank? Maybe you meant to say users? I was a little confused by what you meant by registers. Customers, users? You said eating lots of cuisines there. The word cuisine just sounds strange. Lots of food. Just keep it simple, maybe. Cuisine is more used to specify the food of a region or a place compared to another place versus place. And you said fear toward the future. It would just be fear of the future, not toward. You're not directing it towards the future. GA, You said Softbank gave a good impression to people. Usually we say made a good impression on. He made a good impression on me. Softbank made a good impression on people. Or with, you could say made a good impression with. At the end of 40, I think you mean at the end of my 40s or my late 40s. I think you said the last year. There would be no the, just last year. Have you ever thought about, past tense? And I'm not a person of taking risks. Just use the term risk taker. I'm not a risk taker. Myungjong, you said it lead me to the fastest way, the navigation. It gives me the fastest way, or it recommends me the fastest way. It leads me. The lead and the fastest way just doesn't really go that well together. It leads me to the right place. It gives me the fastest way. It sounds better. He tried to operate another 5 to 10 years. You were talking about Mr. Show. He tried. Tried, I think, was not really. He wanted to, or he decided to. He actually did it, and he was successful, or he announced it. And we're assuming he's successful. It's not really something that he's attempting. It's something more that he's announcing or saying or doing. You said baseball manager, right?
Yeah.
Manager, yeah. And you said I personally encourage that team. You could say cheer for that team. Christy, you said fishes, plural of fish is fish.
Oh.
Fish. Nearby Hollywood area.